Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah. What another day, another opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you, Facebook family. Thank you, YouTube. Everybody that is able to come on live right away. Thank you as you come in. Just introduce yourself and give this video a like. I appreciate you. Wow. I'm not taking our time today. It's a very short video, and I'm just going straight to today's topic. I titled it Self-Forgiveness. Today is day 3. Day 13. Pardon me. Day 13. Day 13 of a wonderful series that I began 13 days ago. And I really, really want to appreciate this special time and everybody that at one time sent different appreciation and different encouragement to me. And some of the comments that I've been getting, the feedback has always been encouraging, and I'm so deeply grateful for those feedbacks. I thank you very much, and I ask you to do more. If this video at any point in time really address anything you really wish you need more of, and you have been able to see something that you really want, thank you, Ms. Titilope. I please encourage you to share this video with a friend. You know what we are doing? We are helping each other to spread love. We are spreading love because we don't want hate. We know the extent and the effect of what hate does. Each time you go through social media and you leave that place more like a depressed person than you came in, that should let you know that even though that tool, as good as it is, if we don't learn how to use it well, it also have a potential of creating more damage in our society. And when you see a lot of different news of havoc, of that is heartbreaking, that we hear all over the social media, all over the news, that tells you that this same instrument that you and I is using to express love, to share growth, to share momentum, and this same tool can also be used to share hate. And so for some of us that have decided to make use of this tool in such a way that we can help become a wholesome personality and a better community, I encourage you to please, every time you see content that we always uphold and help each other, let's share that positivity. Let's share the love. Let's share that message, because we don't know who we are helping. A lot of people are going to so many crazy things. And that's why today's subject is so dear to my heart. That when you see some people behave in certain way, you don't know why, but you can only know that they are not normal to have done that. That in their normal right thinking sense, they wouldn't have done that. And that is why when we talk about the subject of self-love, we cannot take this subject of forgiveness lightly, because when you look at the definition of health, it's a state of physical, mental well-being. So it's not just only even mental. So when you want to know that somebody is healthy, it's not only about, oh, the body is fit, or the body. No, the mental state, the emotional state of that individual has a lot to tell about how healthy the person is. And there's no how you can take away health from wealth, because there's no how you can pursue wealth without you having your health. And can you see that this is just like a symbiosis experience that you and I need to pay attention to, so that we will never at any point in time lose our life, our energy, our vibrancy, and our glow. So for me, let's start with today's topic. I titled it Self-Love. And I remember the quote that I gave during the broadcast. Maya Angelou says that the greatest gift you can ever give to yourself is the gift, of forgiveness. And why did I choose to talk about this gift of forgiveness? Because some of us might think, oh, it's not really a big deal. We don't know that If we talk about health, and with the definition I mean, there is no how you can nurture yourself, your being, your personality, your real core human being, that the real person that is bearing your name, Diola, the real Diola inside. If I really want to talk about a state of being healthy, I cannot talk about it without me nurturing my spirit, without me nurturing my innermost inner core being, because that is where everything starts from. And once that place is not healthy, it has the power to transfer that illness to every part of the body in the external world. And so you see it, anybody that is going to claim is healthy is going to start from the inner. And so when you now look at the subject of forgiveness, you will now see that every time you choose forgiveness, you are not doing somebody, it's not about somebody else. It is not about a particular person. You are doing yourself good. It is about you. You are you are nurturing yourself. So the subject of forgiveness is not just about, oh, it's because it's you, so I'm just going to forgive you or what have you. No, no, no. It is all about you. Because if you don't pay attention to forgiveness, as it were, like I've just said it, you will discover that so many of the things you will love to do in life with your life, you will not be able to do so. And that is why I have decided that I'm going to take this further today. And like I said earlier, I said the choices you make with regards to whether you want to forgive or not, that choice has a way of affecting your life, and it has a way of defining your future and everything that you become. Why did I say so? The subject of forgiveness, as it is, it's like you looking at how you can bring freedom to yourself. Look at it, who are you? When you decide not to forgive, what do you stand to gain? What happens to your personality? What do you lose? When you choose to forgive, one of the things you are doing to yourself is that you are helping yourself. You are giving yourself freedom. Because every time you don't forgive somebody, maybe because of what the person said, the person treats you bad, the person says so many words that are not towards to you, and because of that word, because of that reaction, you choose not to forgive that person. Do you know what you are doing to yourself? It's like you are locking that person up. At the same time, you are locking yourself up. You are not free. There are certain things you want to do, you are unable to do it. That is why this subject is very important, and that is why I want you to please give me attention as I go through what I have here for us. You see, when you look at this subject, I want to remind you of something, and it happened to me. I'm going to be sharing a story that whenever I remember that story, I struggle to forgive myself. I remember sometimes ago, and that particular time in my life, I was just doing like a coaching class for younger children that are in the nursery, in the primary school. Then, far years back. And I remember one particular day, I don't really like beans personally if I don't have it with plantain or some other stuff. So there's this family of mine that happen to be teaching the children. And this time around, I went to the house, and the woman, the parent to that child, the woman was cooking in the kitchen. And so after some time, she made some delicious food and she served me the food, and I was busy teaching the boy. When I finished teaching the boy, I asked the boy to go and pick something in his room. And while he went to pick that stuff in his room, I already knew that I was not going to eat this food. So because I did not want to eat that food, I just immediately, as the boy went to the room to pick, I asked him to pick one of his book or one of his exercise or something. Immediately he left. I just looked for something that I have around me. I have one small polythene bag, and do you know what I did? Instead of me to just as politely said no, that I'm okay, that I'm not, I don't really want it, or I was unable to say no. And I picked that small polythene bag and I emptied the food inside that bag. As I was about doing the last pouring and drop the plate, the woman came out of her room, and met me. Oh my. That day, I cannot explain myself. It was like the floors should just open, the ground should just open, and to just swallow me. That I just could not imagine. You know, the woman has been a very nice person, very wonderful family. I don't have any problem with them. But immediately she came in right at the time that I did that, friends. Wow, I don't know how to say it. I just felt like, oh, she shouldn't have seen me. She shouldn't have seen me. Oh my God. So when eventually I was just mumbling some words out of my mouth. I was not that free to say something, but I just tried to mumble some word out of my mouth, and she just said, oh, it's okay. Or if you are not willing, you are not ready, you are not okay, or you are okay, or you don't feel like, you will have said so. That's all right, it's okay. She just walked over it and she left it. And so I just took it. I said, no, I was just going to take it home, and but it was not really, really doing justice to what happened. So I just let it pass. But do you know, I could not forgive myself. The following day that I had to go to the class, because I normally take the child 3 times during the week. The following time I was going to that class, I was just feeling like, no, this is not going to happen to me again. I don't feel like going to her house. I was feeling that guilt and what have you. And so the same thing now. I want you to look at every time you find it difficult to forgive yourself, you are about telling yourself that you don't want to free yourself from that woe, from that past mistake, from that past disappointment. I want you to look at the past. Anything you can remember or you that can relate, you can relate to with regards to what I'm sharing now, that you actually really remember that actually that was what happened to you. And because of that experience, you've not been able to forgive yourself for any particular reason. I want you to know that it is a choice that you have to make. If there's any choice you have to make and you will really, really want to see yourself free, there is no how you can play game with this subject of forgiveness. And why is this thing so much important? Like I have enumerated, there is no how you can spend your life health in good health, because some of the symptoms that you are going to carry as garbage as a result of you not choosing to forgive is that you are going to experience pain in life. And so that pain is what you don't want to happen to you. So if there's anything I'm going to encourage us to do, is the fact that we must learn to forgive ourselves regardless of what the pain is. Just make sure that there is nothing anybody can do to rob you or whatever it is, even if it is a feeling that you don't know how to go over. I just want you to know that this is what you need to do. And every time that feeling comes, you tell yourself you are willing to let go of that feeling. And another thing I want to say is, if you are going to have freedom from this guilt that normally comes to you because of this guilt, one of the first things you must learn is you must decide. It must be a decision that you must take. You must decide within yourself that you want forgiveness, and you are ready and willing to forgive yourself. And because of that decision, what you have succeeded in doing to yourself is that you have been able to give yourself whatever that hurt or that guilt of the past is going to do to you. Because when you don't take that decision, you are going to sit. You are going to continue to live in pain. And when you look at what the pain is, I just imagine, when you keep going through that pain, it's like you are punishing yourself 2 times. You are going through hurt, and when you don't seek forgiveness, you don't dwell in love. When you don't seek forgiveness, at that moment, you will rob yourself of compassion. And one of the best things you can do to yourself is to sit down and ask yourself, it is okay. Give yourself that permission to talk about what happened and reflect over it. Go over it. Talk about it. Write it down. Express your thought in paper, in writing, that actually I did something. And this is how I'm feeling. Own that feeling. Don't pretend. Don't pretend as if that feeling is not there. Really, really own up that truth, that something went wrong. You did something wrong, or you are not proud of yourself for what you did, or the way you spoke, or the action you took based on something that happened. And when you own that truth, you are able to come to terms with the fact that you actually did something wrong. The next thing you to stop and halt that process. Because I tell you, it is very easy to say, oh, it is good to forgive and forget, or somebody did something. No, I want you to know that forgiveness is a process, and it takes time with different people. Somebody might say, oh, it doesn't really mean no, forgive me. But actually, that is not the truth. That person is still hurting really, really deep down, and is still just in a case of not going through the phase of total healing. And when we rob ourselves of that healing process, that is when we live in denial. So I don't want you to fake it. When somebody actually did wrong you, or when you feel you did something to yourself and you are not letting go, I want you to know that it is a gift for you to choose to forgive yourself, number one. And the reason why you are choosing that gift is because you know what it's going to in the end give to your body. A lot of social problem, mental health, depression, high blood pressure, and what have you is out there. And the statistics is just alarming. And when you look at what is the root cause of some of these things, this is what we are discussing today. Our inability to let go of some movement, our inability to allow our ego to play low, and just to believe that it's okay for somebody to mess up, and that person actually, it's not about that person, it's about me, about the lens which I choose to look at the behavior or at what that person did at that moment in time. And so when you are able to give yourself that relief, every time you go through that phase of overthinking or going through that pain and ruminating over that thing again, I want you to give yourself a permission to stop and tell yourself, I want to stop. As in, you don't want to go through that thing again, because each time you go through that process, you remind yourself of that pain. And one of the things that can help you to really, really keep your sanity and to keep your flow and your state is when you decide to meditate more, to give yourself more space to meditate. And when I talk about meditate, when you stay by yourself and you listen to yourself, you look at what is the core, or what is the problem, what is that message trying to give to you, what is the lesson this behavior or this reaction or this activity, this event is trying to teach me, and then learn from it. Choose to learn from that difficulty. Choose to learn from that very situation. And then give yourself a permission to move on, that it's okay to move on. Because some of us, if we look at our life, there are so many events of our past that is still holding on to us till today, that we have not forgiven ourselves. There are so many of us that there are certain individuals or certain events of our life that we have said, no, it is a no. Nobody should even talk about it. And it's okay too. But I want to just, maybe for these few minutes that we are engaging together, to just give you a little understanding on how best you can position and shift the way you see things, such a way that it's going to be to your own good, and it will not in any way hurt or not in any way affect you, because this is the best thing that you need to do. And I just want you to imagine yourself sitting down and looking at your life and seeing that the reason why you're unable to calm down, baby. And the reason why is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. And when you look at yourself and you want to calm down, yeah, it's okay. Take a sit, come on, sit, yeah. My baby decided to come right in and join me in today's broadcast. Okay, Lizzie, that's all right. Okay. So what I want to bring out of it's okay. Say and then so we are doing today's broadcast together. Say hello. Say hi. Say hi, Lizzie. Say hi. Hi. And where I want to conclude this in, so before I round up, is I want you to wake up in the morning, and when you're alone by yourself, just practice release. And what do I mean by that word release? It's all about you having some words that are empowering. Thank you, Barisa Tosin. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Biola. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. Thank you, Titi. Everybody. I appreciate you. So where I was going with that reflection is that the act of forgiveness is up to you, is in your hand. And that freedom, you owe it to give it to yourself. And that when you wake up in the morning, if there is anything that really, really bothers you, what do you want? What do you want? Okay? You want something? If there is anything that really, really bothers you, or that really, really gives you, if there's anything that bothers you, or if there's anything that so really, really give you a kind of reaction that you are not too happy about, what is the scenario that I want to give? I want you to live in the moment, at the moment. Live in the moment. Analyze that thing that you are facing and ask yourself, this feeling that I'm having, is it doing me good or is it harming? Is it giving me harm? Because if that pain, that situation you're having is not giving you the right emotion and the right state of mind you want, friends, the only thing you can do is to leave that moment and refuse to allow yourself to be brought into that. Yeah, all right. Okay. Yeah, take it. Sit. Take your pen. Yeah, pen. All right. Take your pen. Yes. Uh-huh. Take your pen. Yeah. So write it. Yeah. So when you look at that scenario, the first thing is make up your mind that you are not going to let that disturb you further. And just as I am about rounding up, I think the last thing I would just say is, every time you choose not to live in forgiveness, what you do to yourself is you are giving yourself, you are opening yourself up to pain, and at the same time also can see. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Can be. So make a decision to forgive yourself, and the reason why you are doing that is because you don't want to find yourself in a chain that you are seeing yourself being locked up. Because every time you give yourself that permission to remain in that pain, you are not going to be free. You are not going to be free. All right? Yeah. So I think from this point, I would like to just round up by asking if there is anybody that has any experience that you will need to share or that you can relate with regards to this subject we are discussing, and you really still need help. I don't want you to shy away from that exercise. I want you to reprogram yourself and tell yourself it is okay to feel bad. It is okay to feel that you really messed up. Own it, but then learn from that. Learn from that process. If this is the experience, do I want to remain in that state? Do I still want to go on living in that pain? And if the answer is no, then make a decision to just let go. That every moment of your life, you allow yourself, you allow your soul and your spirit to come up. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Calm down. All right, tomorrow is day 14. I look forward to seeing you people. And what I really want to do is, with regards to this subject matter, is to bring us to a place where all right, take your time. Tomorrow is another day, and what I choose to talk about tomorrow, sorry, that's okay. You want candy? Okay, go daddy. I take a candy from daddy. Daddy, candy. Okay? Yeah. Take it. See. You take it. So what I want us to do is to talk about self-organization. That's okay. Friends, this is stop it. All right. Thank you, everybody that watched. I appreciate your time. I'm very sorry for the disruption. My baby just decided to come up, and I'll just need to stop here so that I will be able to continue tomorrow, and I'll round up about the subject tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye for now.